Abusia for video ya wanigusu awohi. Menim say ara hu se mu say din I don't know. More spiritual eye na more a descending spirit mo nkyere mase. Maame a wagu veli a ogina ho ya obeware. Ebeware hwan ya ose Holy Spirit. Madwene ho amenti asem na se. Obeware Holy Spirit o. Mother of 6. Waware o maku 6 o. A obeware Holy Spirit enkofu atwa ho ahia. Eba wedding. Why invitation cast man call for me bra bishia e busini oni kunu ya wo say Holy Spirit. Ade am so no mudidi agrosa no. Ade a ye achiwade be no mo keka ne sa no. Me de menti ase o because Bible na mate ase say wo kasa kire honkonkon a wonfa nchewo. Na honkonkon de wo ne honkonkon be ye wedding sesen menti asem na se. Aman kofo nso atimetwa ho ahia. Age ho invitation card. Ba wedding na ede wedding a okoware Holy Spirit. Ma share video no be 10 times minti asem na se. Africa hol minim problem kura si wo hol ye. Not me esori anopa edware okwahia asem koware Holy Spirit. Ede asem na ekoso sa. Okoware Holy Spirit sesen. Obede no waware Holy Spirit minti ase. Etimbache wa wo ho asechire no betimi asende me comment. Ana betimi de o commenter to screen so anasa ase ama yehunu ekwan abefa so a ode be wale Holy Spirit no ebia me na menti ase ebia wo de wote ase semwa ye Christopher ya more na ekọ spiritual word more ntino ebia mo benya understanding no dan de meme kan into wa wo ho asechire anasa wa wo ho nimde echen me no obetima drop comment e possible say nipa eti asase so a obetimi aware Holy Spirit ana a question amibusa obetimi lo comment aba.
Residents of Makutano town in Kapenguria, West Pokot County are still reeling from the shock of a rare wedding ceremony held Tuesday afternoon. Nuptials between Elizabeth Nalem and the Holy Spirit left many residents baffled as they flouted COVID-19 prevention protocols and gathered in their numbers to witness a unique event. Take a look.
Elizabeth Nalem, dressed in a white wedding gown and accompanied by friends and faithful, danced as they made a grand entrance in Makutano town. Residents who had gathered were shocked to discover the bride was getting married to the Holy Spirit. In the unique ceremony at Chelanga Gardens, the woman, who is married with 6 children, did not make any vows. Instead, the presiding pastor Albert Rumaita gave a sermon and prayed for her. Her husband Joshua Nalem said he was shocked by the turn of events.
Residents of
Mumia kano kurebuwa ha. Asa agura ankasa yaba enkofo mebre ani so. Na sa no omeye ne sen ombehira so sen o star be no ombese omeye no. Hwan le betu ni trin san na say e de ensem so kora so no. Uko ware Holy Spirit sen. Holy Spirit o ye no ware Holy Spirit sa. Me dem ndimu wa wonim se betima ware Holy Spirit no betima type o comment aba mare. OSOFO yo da so drop a very powerful message me hu ni say e wo se me share. It is me reacting to this message. Utie nsem a wo ka e very encouraging. Opeso wo kire ne ngone nkasa yemu say ono ankasa di nipa anu achi. Anu wa nyusu na adwene e hu so ye wo adwene da ne tima Nyankopon de bibia adua ne mu a nkwa medu ba bia wo we. Sam pai boy egu aso dem babakre baba no. Se bibia ti wo mu Nyankopon ye de wo a wo asase su no. Se wo make use of it a wo be nipa ginjan. Because in first wo bia no beba so wo eye society kula wotim. Because we the wadwin nyina ne say wo spiritual word. So beba physical word the parman nipa ne wadwene no eye problem. Into OSOFO audio and say the video ya mbebo ache wi. O kire say e wo se we nipa na to ho a unya bibi na ye wo abrabom. Eni kwan so depend wo nipa so mebere. Efutu o de mankofo no. Won hwe ne tibia wo mu anka say ne tibia we nti okotena kwan ho akohyire sika. Won hwe ne tibia anka say ne tibia wo mu nti na wo so ye humobro no pa ache no. OWUSU animdia Nyankopon de asu animu no ene wode ye den ode ye adwuma obedu pempenso awe ade animdia na wo wa wode ti aso dem a gababa a wo mpeso OWUSU nimdia Nyankopon de amawo de ayi bibia maso abamfo so ama nchirima na de bia yi se mu depend wo o maame o papa o sister o nua ba o ahwan aban makom de o kakra bi pe na ate afa so yenkotie nsem OSOFO yi eka obetimi do comment nso aba.
Very simple. Young people, let me say this to you. We are gathered here from all over Nigeria. We are seated, everybody by the side. We will listen, everybody, to the same speakers as you're listening to me right now. You will listen to everybody. But it is not everybody that the words will be effective in their lives. It is going to be effective for the person who listens and decides that the prophecies on his head will not go in vain. This is University of Nigeria and Nsukka. Several years ago, I came to this school as a student. Before I came to this school as a student, I was physically challenged at the age of 3. And between the ages of 3 and 10, I was a beggar in my village. Everybody knew me. I was crawling on the floor for 7 good years. I will hang something on my neck. I will go to the marketplace to beg. That was what I was doing for 7 years. And for these 7 years, all my age mates were already in school. I was despised. I was nobody. Until one day, I decided to go to school. And when I got to school, the headmaster made a mockery of me and said to my father, "Why did you bring this one here? What did he come here to do?" He said to my father, "He can't be a student. So take him back home. He can't be a student." And then I asked the man, "What will I do?" If you want to maximize who you are in life, you don't tell stories of what has happened to you. You tell stories of what will I do to come out of what has happened to me. That's the question. So I asked the man, "What will I do?" He said, "Go and learn how to walk." And for 1 year, I was learning how to walk with this stick. And I will take a step and I will fall. Young people, listen to me. On the journey to success, you're going to fall several times. But when you fall, you're going to get right back on your legs. You're going to write an exam several times, but you won't give up until you pass that exam. You're going to go for interviews several times. You're going to be rejected, but each time they reject you, you return. You're going to set up businesses several times. You're going to make mistakes, but a mistake does not define who you are. And so from primary school, working with a stick, I came to this University of Nigeria and Nsukka. And when I entered this school, life was a hell for me. No money to eat, nothing. And then, to make matters worse, I didn't have a leg to walk with. I was telling my driver that brought me that I used to walk from 6 flats to Akintola hostel with this stick in my hand. Why? Because I wanted to prove somebody wrong. I knew I might be physically challenged, but that is not who I am. I know that you might not be beautiful according to people's standards, but that's not who you are. I know you might not be as rich as others, but that's not who you are. I know that you might not come from the greatest of families. Young person, that's not who you are. So I came in here, and then I had a terrible experience after I lost my dad. A lecturer, I went to ask him a question in the class, and this man said to me, "Bring the question to the class. I want everybody to gain from this question." So I came to the class, and he said to me, "Come and stand in front of the class at the mass communication department at the Faculty of Arts here." So I stood in front of the class, and this man looked at me and said, "You asked me a question." I said, "They said, let me ask you questions too." He said to me, "When you were entering the university, where did you pass?" I said, "Sir, I passed through the university gate." He said, "When you were passing, who did you see?" I was wondering, what was the need? I said, "Sir, I saw the transporters, the Okada people." Said, "Yes." "Who else?" "I saw the security people." "Yes." "Who else?" "I saw those hawking." He said to me, "Think very well. Who else did you see?" I said, "Sir, I saw those who were begging." He said, "Describe them for me." So I described them to him. I said, "Some of them are blind, some of them are physically challenged." This lecturer pointed me in my face and said to me, "That's where people like you stay, at the gate." He said to me, "Pack your things, go to the gate, sit at the gate and beg." He said to me, you will never become anything. Your place is at the gate. He said to me, look around the class. Is there anybody with a stick in their hand? He said, back, listen to me, child of God. Young people, listen. Life is not about the container, but the content. Life is not about the container. It's not about how tall you are. It's not about who you think you are. What can you do? What is inside of you? What prophecy are you carrying? What dream are you carrying? Can I share to you? I left this school with a first class. Listen to me, young people. I left this school with a CGPA of 4.86. Listen to me, young people. Today, as I stand here, I have a PhD. I am a lecturer and I teach in 2 different schools. I have cars that I drive on my own. I have family, I have a wife and children. Listen, child of God. Nobody is your classmate. You are your own. Nobody should influence you. Hey, young person, listen to me. You are not in competition with anybody. By the special grace of God, I have traveled around the world. The last time I got to UK, I got to London Heathrow Airport with the same stick in my hand. That's something for which they mocked you. That's the same thing God will lay hand on and elevate you.
Abusia wakasa, very powerful message. Metie message ni be 5 times. Until I'm reacting to this message because in some way woman is very important. Ubetimi a share program de Maame. Wonso betimi drop a comment. Ye nyina e kire adwene na waha. Obi a wale Holy Spirit. Obi nso say de ati omu no fa ye adwuma. Emu de he na say wo fa comment bra.